Should you tell your crush you like them? This is the definitive guide to literally every scenario of whether or not you should tell your crush you like them. First question, everyone starts here. Is your crush seeing someone? There's 3 options that you can pick here. I don't know, no, yes. If you picked I don't know, find out. If you picked no, how do you know your crush? This branches into 2 different answers, online or through in-person circumstances. If you picked through in-person circumstances, now you have to pick from these 4 options. Number 1, you met your crush via friends. Number 2, you met your crush through school. Number 3, you met your crush through work. Or number 4, you met your crush at a third space, so like a coffee shop, a bar, like a shopping mall. We're first going to talk about if you met your crush through friends. So if you met your crush through friends, you now have to pick from these 2 options, which are number 1, you're friends with your crush, or you met your crush through friends, but you're not necessarily friends with your crush. If you picked you're friends with your crush, are you and your crush in a friend group together? So what I mean by this is like, are you and your crush like one-on-one friends and you hang out just the 2 of you, or are you 2 part of like a wider friend group that you hang out with? If you picked no, you're not in a friend group, aka your friends one-on-one, I think you should tell them, but be mentally prepared that it's gonna make things really awkward if they don't like you. I'm really sorry, but you should probably do it anyway for your mental clarity and for like your mental health. This is like the most movie-esque scenario that you can be in, right? If you tell your crush you like them and they're your best friend and they like you back, and then oh, you get married, or you ruin things forever, but you never really know until you tell them, so you might as well just do it. Good luck, and tell us below what happened. If you picked yes, you and your crush are in a wider friend group, the next question is, was your crush ever seeing someone in the friend group? If you picked yes, define seeing. From here, you can either pick number 1, your crush was casually hooking up with someone else in your friend group, or number 2, your crush was dating someone else in your friend group. If you picked your crush was dating someone in your friend group, how serious was it? On a scale of 0 to 5. 1 to 2, they went on like 1 bad date and they're not attracted to each other at all. 3 to 4, they dated for a couple of weeks, but it didn't ever get serious. Or 4 to 5, they dated very seriously, they like met each other's parents, maybe they have a kid or like a pet together, they talked about their future plans, like any of those, a combination of those, 4 to 5. If you picked 1 to 2, then you have the final outcome of, yeah, do it. So long as you're okay with the fact that getting together with your crush and or potentially breaking up with them may or will change the dynamic of your friend group forever and or break up your friend group. If you picked 3 to 4 in terms of seriousness, like they dated for a couple of weeks but it didn't get like that serious, or you picked 4 to 5 just now on that question, which was, it was very serious, but there is a chance that your crush does actually like you, you both have the next step, which is to determine whether or not it's actually up for you to ask out your friend's ex. In order to do that, we're obviously going to have to apply the mathematical formula of Cady's law, aka whether or not it's up for you to date your friend's boyfriend. So in order to apply Cady's law, we have to consider the following formula, which is T sub safe equals D times F over G, where T sub safe is the time in months you should wait before telling your crush you like them. D is the total duration in months of your friend and your crush's relationship. F is the friendship level of you and your friend on a scale of 1 to 10. So like 1 being the lowest and 10 being, this is my ride or die best friend, I would lie in front of a train track for them. And G is the total time in months between your friend and your crush breaking up and you telling your crush that you like them. So plug in all of the conditions into that formula and see what number you get for T sub safe. So I'll give you an example calculation of how to use this. Let's say your friend dated this guy for 12 months. So in D, you would put 12. Let's say you're moderately close to this friend. So F, you would put like 6. And your friend and that guy broke up 6 months ago. So for G, you would put 6. So plug that into the formula. T sub safe equals 12 times 6 divided by 6 equals 12 months. So now that you have your variable for T sub safe, which is 12 months, we now need to consider the 3 conditions which will determine what you should do. If G is less than 2, the answer is always don't think about it, do not do it, do not ask your crush out. If T sub safe is smaller and or equal to G, then you might be good, but proceed with extreme caution and the willingness to risk your entire friendship. So if you got G is less than 2 and or T sub safe is larger than G, you should probably pick no. Do not tell your crush you like them. But if, however, you did get T sub safe is smaller and or equal to G, then you can move on to the next step, which is asking, do either your friend or your crush still have feelings for each other? If you chose yes and or I don't know for this, the next question is, does the potential of getting together with your crush and or potentially breaking up with them outweigh the risk of potentially changing the entire dynamic of the friend group forever? If you picked no, don't tell them. If you picked yes, tell them, but best of luck to you. So now we're going to talk about if you picked no to the question of, do you think that your crush and or their ex still has feelings for each other? If you picked no, you sure? If you picked no, I'm not sure, then you go into the other question, which is, does the potential of getting together with your crush outweigh the risk of things being incredibly awkward? And then you answer that branch just now. If you picked yes, I'm sure that my friend and my crush do not have any lingering feelings for each other, then you get the outcome of, yeah, do it. Again, with the asterisk of so long as you're okay with it changing the dynamic forever. I feel like I've talked about this. So now we're gonna go back all the way up the branch. I hope you're following this because it's very confusing. We're gonna go back to the question of, yes, your crush was seeing someone in the friend group. If you from that branch, instead of picking your crush was dating someone else in the friend group, if you instead picked your crush was casually hooking up with someone in the friend group, you automatically get pulled all the way down to, yeah, do it. So the same outcome as just now. And I'm not gonna say the whole thing over again. You can read it on the screen. Going up one more option, if you picked no, your crush had never been seeing anyone or was never romantically involved with anyone else in your friend group, follow-up question from that is, does anyone else in your friend group like your crush? If you picked yes, someone else in my friend group does like my crush, follow-up question from that is there any chance that your crush actually likes you? Because rather than risk ruining your entire friendship with that third friend who also has a crush on your crush, you should first ask yourself, is there anything on the line that's even worth risking for me to completely ruin my friendship with this third person? If you picked no, you get the outcome of, I mean, I wouldn't, to be honest, because the trade-off isn't worth it anyway if your crush isn't gonna like you back, like you just ruined 2 relationships in your life. I wouldn't do it. But if you picked yes, there is a chance that my crush does actually like me back. You get the question that I've said a million times now, which is, does the potential of getting together with your crush outweigh the risk of potentially making things awkward and or ruining your relationship with this third friend? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes or no. You read on screen. Going back up to the question of, does anyone else in your friend group like your crush? If you picked no, you just get fast-tracked all the way to the same question, which is, does the potential of getting together with your crush potentially risk ruining the relationship? Pick yes or no for don't tell them and or tell them with extreme caution. Okay, so now I've completed all of the options for, are you and your crush in a friend group together? You should have your answer from that. We're now going to discuss the scenario of you met your crush through friends, but you're not necessarily friends with your crush. So there's 2 options here that you can pick from. Number 1 is, you and your crush have a mutual friend, so like you guys have a friend between you even if you two aren't necessarily friends. The second one is, your crush is related to your friend, the sibling, cousin, blah 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 of a friend that you have. If you picked you and your crush have a mutual friend that's not related to your crush, then you go back into the previous branch, which is, are you and your crush in a friend group together, and then watch the previous part of this video. I'm not going to do that entire thing again. If you picked your crush is related to someone that's your friend, oh my god, are they your friend's sibling? If you picked yes, oh my god. Next question is, do you think you like them because you actually like them as a person, or do you think you have a crush on them just because they're your friend's sibling, and so by proximity or like by some weird mind thing, you have a crush on them? If you picked yes, I think I only like them because they're my friend's sibling, then don't tell them, and I'm sure you'll phase out of it, so don't do it. If you picked no, I don't think I like them for that reason, follow-up question is, does the prospect of being with your crush outweigh the fact that you're probably most likely gonna completely ruin or at least make it incredibly awkward with your friend for a period of time and or forever? If you picked no, don't tell them. If you picked yes, tell them, but it'll be a show. Going back to the question of, are they your friend's sibling? If you picked no, parent? If you picked yes or no, surprise, you get the same outcome, which is, I'm not getting involved in this show. Close this YouTube video right now. Now we covered all of the scenarios where you met your crush via friends. We're now going to discuss the scenario which is you met your crush through school. So the first question is, do you see your crush often? There's 2 options that you can pick from this, no or yes. No would be, for example, you're on a big campus, you're not in any of the same classes, you're in separate departments, you know, you're never going to run into them. If that's the case, very simple answer, you should tell them, because you're not going to risk anything. If you're in school, you're young, or not young, or like, you know, you're spiritually young, so like you should tell them anyway. There's like nothing to risk, there's nothing to lose. If you picked yes, you do see your crush often, e.g. you're in the same class, you're in the same department, you work together on group projects. Follow-up question is, do you actually like them? Or like, do you think you actually have a crush on this person because you're just in forced proximity with them? If you chose you think you only like them because you're forced to be together, like it's forced proximity, then you get the outcome of don't tell them because it's gonna ruin the purpose they serve in your life anyway, which is like having something interesting to fantasize and crush about when you're like in a boring calculus class. And if you tell them, it's gonna ruin the magic for you, and then it's also just gonna make 8 a.m. on Wednesdays incredibly uncomfortable, so I wouldn't tell them. If you picked, no, I actually do like them for them, and it's not because we're in forced proximity together. Follow-up question, you're saying you would have a crush on this person even if you didn't have to see them every day. You're sure. 2 options that you can pick from this. First one, okay, maybe not. Then you go back to the answer, which is don't tell them. If you picked, yes, I do actually like this person, then your outcome is tell them. And you'll either be in the best relationship of your life and you'll be married, or you'll make things incredibly awkward and uncomfortable for yourself every day when you're forced to see them for the rest of, I don't know, the 4 or 5 years that you're in school. Okay, so now we covered all the scenarios of if you met your crush through school. We're now going to discuss if you met your crush through work, because you're an old person and you go to work, not school. So the first question for that is, do you fear being fired? If you chose yes, don't tell them. It's probably against HR rules. You don't tell them. If you picked no, I don't fear being fired, you sure? If you picked no, I kind of need to pay rent, don't tell them. If you picked, yeah, I kind of hate my job, I don't care about being fired. Follow-up question is your crush in the same level as you in the work hierarchy? Think about like the employees in your workspace. Like, are you above your crush, below your crush, or are you like on the same level? Like you're similar pay, you know what I mean? If you picked yes, you're on the same hierarchy, maybe because you do the same job or like you have the same manager, like you're on the same like kind of level playing field. Follow-up question is the same as the school question, which is, do you think you actually like this person? Like, do you think you have a crush on them because you actually like them, or do you think you have a crush on them just because like you're forced to see them in the office every day? Like, would you think that this person was cute and would you be attracted to them if you like walked across the street from them and like you don't know them, or do you only think they're cute because they're like the cutest guy in your office building where no one is really cute? If you picked forced proximity, don't tell them. If you picked no, I actually like them, well, yeah, tell them, and it could be, you know, Jim and Pam from The Office, greatest thing ever, or incredibly awkward, and you probably risked getting fired, so there you go. Now we're gonna go back to the question of the work hierarchy. So if you picked no, aka your crush is on a different level from you on the work hierarchy, now there's 2 options, which is either your crush is your superior or your crush is superior. If your crush is your superior, follow-up question from that is, do you think you like your crush because you just have a weird thing for authority figures? So think about that. There's only one answer that you can pick from here, which is I do have a weird thing for authority figures, but that's not the point, Crystal. And so you get the outcome of, if you do it, there's a 1% chance you'll get a promotion, and this will be like 50 Shades of Grey, and a 99% chance you'll be fired immediately. Going back to the work hierarchy, if you picked your crush is your junior, so your crush's superior, follow-up question from that is there any chance at all your crush actually likes you, or is this just some sick power play that will make your crush incredibly uncomfortable for the rest of their limited time working there before they inevitably resign because you were being weird? If you picked no, there's no chance that your crush likes you, don't tell them. If you picked yes, HR will hear about this. So that's all of the scenarios of if you met your crush through work. We're now going to go into the final scenario for the in-person circumstances, which is you met your crush at like a third space. So like a coffee shop, the bar, airport, supermarket, blah, blah, blah. Like you don't really know them. They're just a stranger. In this case, I think you should tell them because they're a stranger. Like, maybe it's like a coffee shop that you frequent a lot, or like the supermarket that you always go to, then in which case, yeah, it would be a little weird if you asked them out and they said no, and then you'd probably have to like completely change your shopping places. But like, it's not significant enough of a burden or like a significant enough impact in your life potentially that's negative for you to like not do it. So I think life is short, you should just tell them. Sorry if that's not as entertaining, but that's my 2 cents. Okay, so we've just completed all of the in-person circumstances for how do you know your crush. Again, being that your crush is not dating someone. Now we're going to discuss your crush is not dating someone, but you know them online or through the internet. If you said, I know my crush online, follow-up question is, are they a celebrity? If you picked yes, and I have to put this option into this, you might think this is really stupid, but I know there's a bunch of you mother in my comments to be like, my crush is a celebrity, my crush is like a TikTok star, in which case I have to put this in for you mother. If you picked yes, but my crush is a celebrity, you can tell them, but they're never gonna know about it. So have fun, go crazy, you know? They don't read their comments, just do it. If you picked no, my crush is a real person, they're not a celebrity, then follow-up question is, did you meet this person on a dating app? If you picked yes, I'm gonna assume for this scenario that they also swiped right on you, so it's not like some random person that swiped left on you on a Tinder and you didn't match them. I'm assuming here you matched them on a dating app, in which case, yeah, you should tell them, but yeah, tell them, but like, I'm assuming they already know that you like them. They at least know that you're physically attracted to them if you matched on a dating app, but maybe they don't know. Maybe they're using Tinder Friends. If you picked no, I didn't meet them on a dating app, follow-up question is, have you ever met this person in real life? If you picked yes, I have met this person in real life, you should tell them. If you picked no, I've only known this person online, I've never met them in real life, you get the option of you can tell them, but there's a chance that you won't be attracted to them in real life, in which case, weigh your odds. Okay, so that's online spaces done. That was quick and easy. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the original question, which is we're now gonna discuss scenarios in which your crush is seeing someone. If you picked yes, your crush is seeing someone, define seeing, there's 3 options that you can now pick from. Okay, so number 1 is they're casually dating someone, number 2 is they're in a relationship, and number 3 is they're hooking up with someone. So if you picked your crush is hooking up with someone, same person or multiple people? If you picked your crush is hooking up with multiple people, then you should tell them, but it depends what you want out of this. AKA, do you also want to just be hooking up with your crush, or do you want to be in a long-term relationship with your crush? In which case, I don't think it's gonna happen at this point in time. I'm so sorry, like, I don't think it's gonna happen. If you picked your crush is hooking up with someone, but it's with the same person, they're in a situationship. What's their role in the situationship? There's now 2 options that you can choose. Number 1, your crush is in a situationship and they're being dragged along by the other person who won't commit to your crush. The outcome you get from this is you should tell your crush you like them, but it's more likely than not they're gonna be too blinded by that other person to ever reciprocate your feelings, in which case it's not even worth it. If you picked option 2, your crush is in a situationship and they're the one who won't commit to this other person and is dragging this other person along, you get the outcome of don't tell them unless you also want to be in a situationship with this person, which you probably don't. Maybe you do, but most likely no, and you don't want to be with this type of person anyway that will put you in a situationship. So I would say don't do it. So that covers all of the scenarios of your crush is hooking up with someone. We're now going to discuss if you picked your crush is seeing someone and they're in a relationship with someone. Very obvious answer, don't tell them. Homewrecker, don't do it. I could get into like the nuances of like, oh, but what if they're not happy in their relationship? I mean, like, someone's gonna get mad at me in the comments. So I'm not gonna delve into that. I'm not gonna discuss any of that. Blanket answer, don't tell them, and also seek proper advice. Don't ask me. Okay, final scenario, we're in a final stretch. If you picked yes, your crush is seeing someone and it's in the capacity that they're casually dating someone, follow-up question, is it actually casual? If you picked no, it's not actually casual, well, they're in a relationship, don't tell them. If you picked yes, it is an actual casual relationship, follow-up question, same person or multiple. If you picked multiple, again, it depends. Same person, okay, they're in a situationship, and then you go into the situationship branch, which is what's their role in the situationship? They're the person that won't commit, then don't tell them because you don't want to be with that person anyway. If you picked they're the person being dragged along in the situationship, tell them, but they're probably not gonna like you because they're too busy being emotionally dragged along by another person in the situationship, so tell them, but it's gonna end badly. There we go. We did it all. We did it. I did it. Okay. That's every scenario under the sun. All the scenarios that I can think of off the top of my head, off the top of my dome, for if you should tell your crush that you like them. So I hope you enjoyed that video. And if I didn't cover you in this graph, that's okay, because you can always use this following section, which is universal, and you can use it for any scenario. You're gonna ask yourself 2 questions, okay? The first question is, you're gonna ask yourself, what do I want out of this? Like, do I want to date this person? Do I want to hook up with this person? Do I want to like casually date this person? Have kids with this person? Okay? Think about it. Think carefully what your answer is going to be, and then use your answer to this to inform the second question, which is there any chance that my crush will like me back? And then there's an asterisk on that, with the asterisk being regardless of what you answered for part 2, you should probably tell your crush anyway. You never know unless you try, and life is short, so don't let a YouTube video tell you what you should do. But if you watch this video and you did tell your crush you like them, and you did actually get into the best relationship of your life, or the best one-night stand of your life, you should send me money to show me your deepest appreciation and thanks. But if you don't want to do that, at least subscribe, because that's free. Obligatory disclaimer for this video, which is, I don't know, jack shit. So I'm not giving any solid advice. This is not advice. This is entertainment only. My qualifications are, I didn't hold hands romantically with a boy until I was 21. So don't listen to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe. And if you want like a PDF printout of this graph so you can slowly follow along, no, I'm not gonna give you one, because if I give you one, you're not gonna watch this video. So sorry, get